It was access no traditional newscast could get, but Vice News was alongside the white supremacists who were behind the unrest in Charlottesville. And they met some Canadians who drove down to take part.
Who drove how long to get here?
12 hours from our car. We've been driving from north of the border, so.
Oh, you came down from Canadistan. If I was doing the radical agenda in Canada, I'd probably be arrested for it, right?
Yeah, well, in Canada, hurting people's feelings is basically illegal. I mean, it's not really criminal, but
unless they're white males.
And now Vice News Canada is reporting that the Quebec right-wing group has disavowed the member who joined the white supremacists in Charlottesville. And joining me now is Rachel Browne, who is actually behind this article. So, Rachel, what can you tell me about this Quebec group in the first place? Who are they and what do they stand for?
So this particular right-wing group out of Quebec is La Meurthe, which is French for the wolf pack, and they're a group that espouses anti-Islam, anti-immigration. They're really campaigning against what they describe as Sharia law. They sort of have popped up over the last year. They go to rallies. They are pretty active on social media, and so they're a group that, you know, is part of the alt-right, although they don't like that label.
And they don't want to be called racist, do they?
Exactly, yeah.
Yes.
They are arguing that there's a big difference in what their sort of worldview is when it comes to nationalism. They say that that's different from racism, and they've booted this guy out who went to Charlottesville because of his links and participation in white supremacy, which is something they want to disassociate with.
Now, there is a Quebec anti-racist group that actually identified 5 Canadians, Quebecers who were there, and they're now launching this public campaign to actually out them, identify them, name them?
Yeah, so Anti-Pegida, which is an anti-racist or anti-fascist group in Quebec, has put the photos up from our documentary of these 5 Canadians. They've managed to identify 2 of them, but they're really intent on outing all of them, getting their names out there, getting their identities out there, so I guess people can know who they are and what they believe and publicly shame them as well. It's similar to a similar campaign that's going on in the States right now, where anti-alt-right folks and groups are trying to identify everyone who attended Charlottesville.
And you've spoken to both of them?
We've spoken with Sean, and he's an MMA fighter, and he's told us he's aware of, you know, the group disavowing him, and he kind of accepts that. It's pretty interesting because he himself was pretty high up in the group.
Sean is this one right here?
Yeah, in the Hydra shirt, and interestingly enough, and he was a recruiter for the group and was very active on sort of vetting their social media and their Facebook page. People sort of had to go through him to get there. So, you know, it's a pretty big move for this group to boot out someone for, I guess from the outside looks like sort of espousing the same views as them. They're saying, no, we're not white supremacists.
I'm interested about Sean now, and what are his thoughts now post Charlottesville and after everything that's happened? Did he express any regret about going?
No, it doesn't seem like he's remorseful or regretful. He stands by his decision. He seems to be accepting of it.
All right. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, and you can find the article at Vice Canada.